Call to order the February 18th, 2026 West Valley School District Regular Board Meeting. Stephanie, would you please read that? Call to order.
Yes. Citizens may comment on items appearing on the agenda when invited to participate during the agenda item by the board chair. Citizens may comment on items related to school district business not appearing on this agenda during the public comment portion of the meeting. Citizens, after identifying themselves, will proceed to make comments as briefly as the subject permits. Basic rules of decorum are in effect at all times. The chairperson may interrupt or terminate an individual statement when appropriate, including when statements are out of order, too lengthy, breach personal privacy rights, abusive, obscene, irrelevant, or otherwise improper. The public should realize that this is a trustee business meeting conducted in a public forum.
You will stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One has all the minutes and the districts. This.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
I'll second.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes, I can do. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, does somebody want to grab that, sheet, see if there's any public participation there?
Yes, you're on.
There is not, so we'll go on from here. Okay, the West Valley Parent Teachers Organization report.
Yes, I mean, I don't know if we have an update at all, but we did get a card last time that we just wanted to say that we were thankful for the PTO, all of us board members. It says West Valley PTO appreciates all you are doing to continue our children's education. We're all in this together. And they gave us all a little gift card. So thanks to the PTO.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a West Valley Teachers Organization report.
I'm here, but no report, nothing to report.
Okay, glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, the principal's report.
I don't have a ton, but I'll just kind of update you on a few things. So
Okay.
Nicole, she's in a meeting right now, so we were working on scheduling and staffing for next year, so kind of trying to predict what enrollment might be and what those numbers are going to do and what that does for where teachers' placements are and things like that. So this is kind of the time of year we really dive into that. And then next week is our big munch and mingle in the elementary. And so each day of the week we have, like, Monday is for kindergarten, and families and friends are invited to come have lunch with their student, and just kind of a fun way to bring the community in. Tuesdays for first grade, Wednesdays for, and so on and so forth. And then we did trying something new this year, that the kids that don't have anybody that comes, we're going to have like kind of a fun little section in the cafeteria set up and have a few middle schoolers come down, like maybe 10, 15 of them. So that those kids that don't have a family member still feel celebrated and excited and have something different to look forward to. So kind of excited to partner with middle school for that. And then the other thing that's coming down the line that we're working on to try to help with staffing, like I was saying, is kindergarten. We're going to do a kindergarten registration roundup on May 1st. So it's an early release that day. So kids will be out at 1, and then around 1:30 is when we're going to invite new incoming kindergarten families to come in. And we're trying to do this to encourage people to register early, so we know how many kindergarten teachers we need and can predict that. And it'll be a time where I will kind of speak and talk about, the school in general, what kindergarten looks like, introduce the kindergarten teachers, and be able to answer questions. We'll also have parents be able to fill out a little readiness survey just to determine too if their kid is ready. Because oftentimes we have kids that are kind of on the cusp with their birthday, and sometimes parents don't really know if their kid is ready or should wait a year. So we're hoping to kind of be able to have some of those conversations earlier instead of like the day before school. So, yeah, so my hope, and then at that point too, you know, ideally we'd have them starting to register in April. And if they haven't, that's when we can really push and talk about the importance and then use that kind of as a marketing strategy as well. So for them to be able to go out to their friends and say like, hey, if you have a kindergartner, like you better get them registered. And another kind of motivator is as soon as they get registered, you can maybe pick your date for your assessments, because we'll have assessment dates still at the beginning of the school year next year. So we'll still have that same general structure that we have always had for the last few years. But we thought that might motivate people, because right now we're just randomly assigning them a day and a time. But if you register early, you can pick your day and your time that works for your schedule. So I thought that might maybe motivate some people. It would motivate me if I was a parent to do that. And then, and then we were gonna set up maybe like a photo booth and have the mascot come out, and so they could take their, you know, kindergarten picture there, and parents will probably love that and maybe post on social media. And so that's kind of another way to market it for those people that don't come on that day either, that like, oh, hey, this is a thing. And, you know, I do need to register. And, you know, even if you miss that day, kind of gets that conversation going. So we're just trying something new this year to hopefully figure out our numbers earlier than like a few days before school starts, because it's really stressful in August in kindergarten in particular. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do this year. That'll be coming. And yeah, other than that, we're in a testing window, so still doing math testing and Ames Web, finishing up on that. And so we'll probably have some data to present to you maybe at the next board meeting to kind of show you some things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The superintendent's report.
All right, I want to start out by sharing an award that one of our board members received. Mr. Dennehy received the James Haugen Service Award by the Montana High School Association for recognizing outstanding contribution to high school athletics in Montana. So it's a very prestigious award, and we wanted to celebrate that and say, you know, thank you for your service to Montana. Thank you for coming to join our board. Thanks. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like the best board member.
Yeah.
You must.
The superintendent can get it.
There we go.
So anyway, yeah, so thank you for that. And yeah, and a few other notes that I have is that the county did come out and assess the parking lot on the east side and say they are unwilling to help with that. So what we are going to do is try to bid that out. We're gonna start with LHC, see what they have to say about that. And we plan on kind of looking at the area from the fence that's furthest, closest to the road to about the dumpster area. See if they can help us reasonably with that. Try out a couple of other people, but so far LHC has been the one that has gotten some information back to us, and it'll just kind of depend on what that bid comes out at to see if we can do that. But at the very least, we're planning to put some gravel down and get that taken care of. But if we can pave it for something that's reasonable, we can try to work that out into combo bid. So heads up on that, that's ongoing.
And that wouldn't fall like under Roundup for safety or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think they would do that. We can always reach out and get some feelers about that. You know, one of our former activities bus drivers is on that board, and we can look into that, but they're pretty stickler on student safety in particular, being directly involved with that. So I'm not sure if we could tie that in to student safety somehow, but it is pretty gnarly out there at times, especially when it's snowy and icy and muddy. So that's ongoing. And as Alicia said, we're looking at staffing for next year, and ratios, class sizes, all that. Trying to put that puzzle piece together is always incredibly difficult without, you know, kindergarten numbers. So, but again, our goal is always to keep class sizes low as possible and to best distribute that across the board. Our basic accreditation that's due yearly is due at the end of this month. And what we have to do is report to OPI on all of our, we have class sizes, and they use our student information system to get, you know, the teachers licensed in the appropriate area, that type of thing. So that we don't have people in places that they shouldn't be. So that's coming up soon. And they also look at if we're offering the correct classes and meeting the standards that Montana has set. So that's something we've been working on, the admin team. And we are creating a middle school NTSS instructional coach AD position for the middle school next year. So far, we've had several people express interest in the position, but we will have a candidate ready for you at the next board meeting for that role. And we are financially okay to do that too, in part because you'll hopefully see on the HR report that we have a teacher not returning next year for childcare reasons. But anyway, that's where a lot of that can come from. So be looking for that in March. Also, I wanted to highlight the calendar. There's a copy of it. This one is the color copy with the actual days of what we worked on. That'll also show up on March's agenda. The two biggest changes are that we put a fall break on the week of Thanksgiving. We are also not able to start after Labor Day this year. I know that was something we could do, but Labor Day is September 7th. So we felt like that would be just too late to start with kids in the year. And then, you know, we've got all of our PIR days in there that students would still be able to be dismissed in June 8th there. So still a couple of things to iron out on that, but we think that'll be okay and ready for you. But I wanted you to have a copy of that so you can see in actual color, because just hearing about it is a little bit worse than seeing it in front of you. So.
Are these dates relatively close to SD5?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are very close, and they are releasing their calendar very, very shortly as well. So yeah, we try to keep the spring break time in line with Kalispell, and typically in the Flathead Valley, the last full week of March is the spring break that we've all agreed on. District, so all the A, double A, the 1AA, and the A schools are also on that as well. So. And then we still do have some exterior lighting on the south end of the building. The issue that's keeping us from getting that replaced is literally the shipping and getting them here. But we have all the stuff ordered. It's just a matter of getting them here and Bill having the chance to, Bill and Tony having the chance to replace those. But if you do notice, there are some bulbs that are out, and we don't want that to happen. So we want to get those done as soon as possible. One long-term plan that we talked about is to install a key fob to every entrance of the building over time, so that you can just walk up and use a fob to get into the doors. It wouldn't have to mess with the key each time. Marcus has got some ideas on how we can maybe handle some of that tech-wise. That'll be hopefully coming sooner rather than later, but I think that's a priority that we should go for. We have our annual building inspection soon. This typically happens over spring break, where they come out and just inspect our building and make sure we have exit signs lit up and the playground is safe and there's no glaring issues there. Typically we pass with flying colors, and not a big issue, but it does take a few hours for it to happen.
Who does it?
It's the DEQ, Department of Environmental Quality, that's handling it, and it's our insurance company as well. So we report that to our insurance, and then they request a report. It's a process. It's just a process we have to go through each year. And then if there is any deviations, then they send it to me, and then Bill and I get together and kind of see what it would take to do that. So you're going to see on the agenda for action items a roof replacement bid, and this is in direct concert with the heater bid that we approved for a prior meeting. So it's going to be kind of where they work together, because once kids leave, then the heating company will come out, pull those heaters, and then the roofers will install new roof into the curb of where those units were installed, because the roof will be damaged when those heaters are removed. And then the heater company will come back once the roof is done, put the new heaters back on, and then the roofers will then finish the rest of them. So,
Is that part of the contract too, Richard?
yes, it is. Yep,
We don't want to be caught where
yep, it is.
they keep pointing fingers at.
We made that perfectly clear to those guys. They know about that. And that can get pretty hairy when you're relying on two different people working together on a job that big. And then wanted to give Marcus a chance to briefly talk about a E-rate proposal that we're gonna look at here pretty soon. Marcus, go ahead and get this off.
Okay, so we put out for our category 2 E-rate bids, for the school here. And, we received back, I think, 4 responses from there, and, those responses, I, organized them on here, by cost. This project scope was to, replace all the remaining Wi-Fi devices in the school and update them with new ones. And then also, to provide some basic coverage, in the rear of the building for, emergency communications. You'd be able to replace, phone calls using Wi-Fi calling and all that. So that during the big events that we have here, when the towers get overloaded and nobody can get cell phone service, we still have service available, if emergencies or anything like that going on. So then I recommend the 801 technology bid. He came in really good. He doesn't do any equipment markups. So he's coming in way below a lot of the other competitors. And I've used him out at the previous school I worked at, and he did great work for us. So that's about all I got. If you guys want to look at it.
What do we currently have
What's that?
for the E-rates? Who are we currently using?
Are you talking internet?
Well, so you got E-rate bids, right?
Yes.
And because it's expiring, correct? Our current
This part
one?
of it for category 2 is just a bid process where you bid out equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have category 1, the internet part, the
Got
category
it.
2. Yeah.
Got it.
And then with that too, Marcus has talked about us installing 70-volt speaker systems to classroom. Currently pricing that out. And what that would allow us to do is section off the building in 2 different areas to get announcements that go through a speaker system rather than through the telephone. Because we find that it's hard to hear, and sometimes if classes are doing something and then an announcement comes over, then the office gets calls that they didn't hear the announcement. What was the announcement? So this type of thing would be also kind of an emergency, all call system we could use, or just in general, so that it wouldn't have to rely on our phone system to do that. So that would be also a good thing. And he can run line on his own to do that. So it would save a lot of money to in labor. And then the only other thing I have for you is that at the February count, our total number of students was 798. So yeah, we typically fluctuate between that 795 and 805 throughout the year. So that's be very in line with what we were at the last couple of years count. So we don't anticipate any budgetary effect from that, because that's the number they use in the formula to determine our funding.
And it actually might look a little higher. I think it was 806 or something like, because we do get some partial counts for our students that are at the Flathead Special Ed Co-op that we pay for. So
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all I have for updates.
Marcus, just on the internet, who do we have like right now? And then I guess, is this changing all of that?
The internet service provider, we currently are with Montana Digital, which got bought out by Barrel. And then for the next cycle, we decided to go with Intervale Communications out of Eureka. They put fiber all the way down Farm Market Road. And they
So it'll increase our internet speed by like 4 times, maybe.
It's 5 times what we currently have.
So that'll be nice. Oh, and then I did want to just highlight something at the Northwest Mass meeting today. We had a couple of people from the University of Montana come up and talk about a program they have. And I wanted to just have some information here in case anybody wanted it, because it's a Montana teacher residency program. And the goal is to get more qualified teachers in Montana. So it's a cool program that can take place in K through 12 schools, but it's more of like a year-long student teaching position rather than a semester student teaching position. And the difference with that is that they will waive a whole year's worth of tuition cost if you commit to the program. And it's a $1,400 a month stipend for teachers, student teachers to student teach. So they're hoping that that would attract people who are trying to stay, you know, in Montana and those, especially in those high cost areas. The mentor teacher would also receive a $6,000 stipend for doing that for the whole year. And then the commitment to that is that they agree to teach in Montana for 3 years. So after graduation. So yeah, I wanted to, because it is so hard. The numbers of people in the graduating classes are going down and down and down. And in fact, in view of that, in total, they only had, like if they were saying less than 40 kids in the fall graduate. Yeah, so it's not good. And they anticipate to have about, she said, 70 graduate in the spring. So right now, what she was explaining is that of the graduates in Montana at all the schools where you can get it, it's barely covering the attrition rate of teachers leaving. So what they want to see is a surplus of teachers trained to cover that, just because, you know, things happen and stuff. And right now the state of Montana is not really able to funnel in as many teachers who are leaving every year. So
How many did they have in that program?
in this program, I think statewide 17.
Okay.
Yeah, that took advantage of it. So yeah, and
These are undergraduates then that are student teachers, undergraduates.
Mhm.
So they'll come and work for a year, get paid.
And it's not paid by the district. It's paid by the grants that the state has received for it. So it wouldn't be a cost to the district in that way.
But they would be student teachers, so they wouldn't have their own class. They would be under a mentor.
Working under a mentor. Yep.
Okay, and then at the end of that year, then they go back to and get their degree.
They
and
would
then
receive their
agree to
degree.
teach for
Yep.
3 years.
And then they'd have to, they would have to pay back the money if they didn't teach for 3 years after
In Montana.
in Montana. Yep.
In Montana,
So,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
so anyway,
So are they looking for schools to be on that list to take?
they're just kind of hoping to get the word out for people. And so, yeah, I think.
Is it driven by the subject area, Richard, or the community, or?
I'm
you
not
know?
sure. I really
Okay.
don't. I don't know
Yeah.
that.
It's all.
But it was the licensure specialist from the University of Montana and the field experience coordinator there who came to talk to us today.
still doesn't address the housing cost.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but yeah, hopefully.
Well, just the fact that they don't have to pay the tuition for the
Yeah.
last year
Right.
is huge.
Right.
It's huge, and then they get
Yeah.
paid. They shouldn't be, yeah. And maybe if kids came home, they wouldn't have to worry.
So they're getting
There's
paid
kinds of good-
$1,400 a month.
Mhm.
Do student teachers normally not get paid?
No,
Correct.
not only do they not get paid,
And you're paying tuition.
and you're paying tuition and you don't even step foot on campus.
And there was like a bonus or something too, right?
Said for the teacher was $6,000.
6,000 for the teacher.
So that's for the teacher that takes months? Okay.
Do they have to be out of state or city?
Nope.
What was your question, Joe?
If they have to be from out of state?
Yeah, it's a pretty neat program that I hope takes off because I mean, we've all been through it in education, student teaching, and trying to make it, and you know, it's hard. You know, you walk into, you know, a job not paying a ton right away, and it's tough to attract teachers now to want to do that too, especially in those high cost areas. You know, it's getting really tough to find new teachers to be able to not have a connection in the valley or, you know, something with, especially housing.
But they didn't specify different, the high
They
areas.
didn't know,
They
it's
didn't
all of
specify.
Montana, so,
Hmm.
yep. So that's, and I think that's a good thing.
Or the particular subjects, you know, there's some of those subjects that can't get anybody.
Yeah, yes.
But they didn't specify that.
No,
Everybody gets the same.
Yep. so yeah, I'd like to learn more about it and get more proficient on it. And, I guess the contact is, Megan Belant, from the University of Montana. So got her email address. She just encouraged people to reach out to her, for more information and how it works. And so
That'd be going to school in the state though.
Yes.
They could,
Has to be
yeah.
Montana. Yeah. Has to be at the University of Montana.
Okay, so MSU, I mean, gotta be you
Yeah,
then.
no, it's U of M, yeah. Yeah, and that's all I have.
Thank you. All right, we'll go on to the action items. We have the bills in front of us here. I think we have an accident.
It was just a very typical month, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, to point out. Certainly less than a month before with all the tuition and, so, yeah.
Well, that's nice. Not to have these today.
And then the last page just shows where we're at budget versus actual. Ending the month of January. Anybody have any questions?
Thanks, this last page is. Pleasure. Trying to see where we're at in the budget with all those items.
Are we 40% through the school year?
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the miscellaneous fund is deceiving because that's kind of a moving target because that's your grants and stuff like that. So that you estimate what you're planning on getting from title, but then the other stuff is kind of hit or miss, like when it comes in, you know, like Don Kay gave some of the teachers $500 and, so that one looks a little deceiving because it says 62. It's kind of it's a moving target is what it is, so. But like our budgeted ones, with the exception of technology, which I think we explained last month, we, you know, made the purchases of the Chromebooks early so that we could avoid the tariffs. Everything else is looking in a really healthy place.
On the interlocal fund,
Mhm.
so the 120.
That was,
25,000.
that was the check for the heating.
Okay, so that was the initial check.
Mhm.
And so presumably.
That was committed year to date. That was the check we wrote back
Okay.
the
That-
prior
yeah.
month, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So anything we did this month is the first column,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just didn't connect.
Yeah, no, that was the heating and then one other thing, there was. Like, wasn't the heating 100,000 down and then, the hot water heater,
Oh,
we took it out of that as well, yeah. But new this year, that amount that's in there, that 387 that's left, that's all ours. Whereas in the past, we had the other schools and it was like $1 million with all the other schools. This is all our money now, so.
And so then between the roof replacement and the remainder on the.
We're taking it out of
Heater
there,
and
and then there's some tuition money set aside from last year towards. We have to purchase we have some big ticket item for tuition, not tuition, curriculum
Oh.
for next year, so I put some of that money in there for that as well.
Great.
Where do the funds for the innovative tax?
They go into the Fund 115.
Sure.
So, again, you know, I have to go in and adjust those numbers. It's kind of I have to go in and adjust to say that we budgeted, but we really didn't budget for it, so that then it will make it look like as we spend it. Sorry. As we spend it, it won't look like we're out of proportion, so. Did you want to tell them what we did for the Pick words, no,
Your idea. So we funded a charter bus for the robotics team to go to their competition in Bozeman and yeah, paid for some hotel rooms and stuff and gave it was the perfect use of the funds because it was directly related to students and gave them an opportunity that we would have never been able to fund on our own. And I think it was really good. Marcus is a coach for that, so I can tell you that was, you know, kind of a really cool thing for the kids to go down there. It'll be a unit and have a nice charter bus. And
We had 3 teams qualify,
Yeah.
and so we felt like instead of trying to piecemeal it together with parents taking their kids, we decided to make it an actual thing for them. So it
it was really neat use of it. So
used some of my old contacts from my old job. Got us in hotel rooms and stuff like that, so.
Great. It was a nice bus.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
A second.
There any more discussion on the bill? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, we talked about the, I think Richard mentioned the bid on the gym roof reskin, so we all got a copy of that too.
came in right at 87,000 and change. So
And that one was significantly lower than other ones. It was not.
this one was about the same.
It was about the same.
About the same,
That was
yeah.
the heater one.
The heater one was
Yeah.
the one that we saved a lot, but this one, each bid came in and we got one that was within a few thousand.
And it's local too.
It is.
Whitefish.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, and that was the other thing, it's really hard to get bids on a roof replacement like this, so we did have to go and, I think this wood company, things like that, and this just with logistics and cost of pay per diem, travel, things like that. This was the best bid.
I move to accept that bid.
I'll second.
There any more discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Then we have the, personnel activity report. We all have a copy back too. We have one entry on that now. Richard, did you want to address that or?
Yeah, we're really sad actually about this one. Lindsay Burr is a first grade teacher for us. She's been great, been awesome. And, she just, life happened, as some decisions were made and, she decided that, it would be best for her if she finished the rest of the year and then, made some different plans for her future. So, but yeah, I want to speak highly of her because she's fantastic.
No, so we're not gonna replace her. That money's gonna go towards the new position in the middle
Correct,
school,
yeah,
correct?
looking at our staff numbers, it looks like we'll be okay, to keep our class sizes where we are, but yeah.
Cause she's a first grade teacher and with
Yeah.
our kindergarten numbers being so low this year,
So, yeah.
Staffing will be somewhat neutral. Is that what you guys anticipate?
Exactly, yep, so
How many first grade teachers will there be?
4,
And how big will those classes be?
about 17,
Kindergarten was small this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, kindergarten ran for this year,
And we ended up staying with the
5.
5 teachers,
Five
so,
sections.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the human resources personnel report.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, Richard, to update that policy,
Yep, and so this one is policy 3141, which is non-resident student attendance. And what we'd like to do is take the language from our strategic action plan until 2029, on page 3 of that, where it's number 2. And the reason for that is because it gives our percentages of when we, can accept kids. And we just think it'll be clearer for everyone because technically we have to cite, this policy and rather than say, well, this policy in this place and our strategic action plan, we just feel like it'll streamline it to combine them. other districts have done the same thing, so, this is just a cleaner way to do it. We'd like to keep the enrollment at 85% in grades K through 5, just to give us some of that leeway for people who do move in or who are in district, and then we're like close to 100%, and then they're really high classes, so then this would be separate from, our priority enrollment of students that we accept each year based on, like if they've been here before, that kind of thing. This would be for brand new families and brand new kids to our school.
I'll make a motion to accept the updated policy 3141.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, the asset disposal request, obsolete and disposal.
This is need board approval because we'll be officially not using some of this inventory. And with your approval, then it gives us the ability to release it for sale to the public. And that way we can, build a fund to help repair things and unexpected issues that come up. So there's some computers on there too that are just obsolete. And so did you want to add anything to that, Marcus? Am I butchering that or?
Oh, no, I think it was pretty good.
Okay. So yeah, and then that way we, just officially get them out of our inventory.
Do we have any bubbles in our inventory? We got a pretty good plan.
I think we got a great plan going forward. We're gonna be doing, I think it's about 100 new purchases a year, and then the phase out so that we, because we ended up with that ESSER fund, buying so many new computers and things. And so I think Marcus has done a fantastic job at planning that out for us and creating a cycle that we can feel comfortable with our system, or our machines or computers, that they're not going to be too old by the time they leave. So we're not giving them stuff that doesn't work and it's outdated, but at the same time getting new stuff in that will phase. I think it's like a 6-7 year cycle that will, yeah.
He said it.
Oh, no.
That was not on purpose. That would, so that's what it's like, not disposal, but that's what it's officially called. That's it.
I'll make a motion to approve the asset disposal request.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Here, do you want that? I'll get through those.